Okay, guys, so today we are starting a brand new unit over probability. Okay, probability is it can be hard, but if you don't look at it hard and you don't make it difficult, it could be pretty easy. Okay, guys, so it's going to have proportions in it still again, and some of them are just going to be fractions. So we need to not be afraid of the fractions because we've got to keep working with them. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about probability. So, what is probability? So, probability is the possibility of an event happening or how likely something is to happen. So, if I want to know the probability of flipping a head of a heads landing when I flip a coin, that would be 1 out of 2 because there's only one heads on the coin, but there's two sides. So, 1 out of 2 would be the probability of getting a heads when I flip a coin. Okay, so that's something about it. And then if we look at dice here, our normal dice, the probability of getting an even number, there's 3 even numbers on it and 6 sides, so it would be 3 out of 6. Or if I reduce it, it would be 1 out of 2. Okay, so that's what probability is. So the way we can figure out the different kinds of outcomes is by drawing a tree diagram. So the ways to write out the number of outcomes. Okay, so a tree diagram, we want to list out all of our possibilities and they branch off like a tree. If you see here, they're going to branch off. Okay, so that's why it's a tree diagram, because they look like little branches coming off. They branch off to make a tree of all the different outcomes. So if I'm flipping a coin 3 times, I need to know what are the different ways, that outcomes that I can get with all 3 of those. So I can flip a head all 3 times, heads, 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 right? I can flip 2 heads and then a tails, and then I can flip a heads and then a tails, and then a heads. So I can go head, tails, heads, or I can go heads, tails, tails. Okay, so if you see this, when I make the triangle, and then I can do the same thing with tails and flip it around. So what I do is I start with my options. So I only have 2 options here for the coin. So I have either heads or tails. So the first thing I'm going to do is either roll a heads or flip a heads or flip a tails. Okay, and then the next one, same thing. I can flip a heads or I can flip a tails. So I still have that. Okay, and that's what it branches off to, either I flipped a heads or I flipped a tails. Okay, and then the next one, same thing. I can get after this heads, I can flip a heads or a tails, or I can flip a heads or a tails. Okay, so that's what it is. So we're going to branch off however many there are. Okay, so if I had 3 options, I would have 1 more option here, and then there would be 3 options here, 3 options here, and then 3 here, 3 here. Okay, so basically it's just writing out all of the different ways I can do it. So what can I start with? What would be next? And then what would be next after that? Okay, so today we're going to talk about single event probability. So this is the probability of something happening just once. Okay, so I'm going to look at what is the probability of it happening just that one time. Okay, I'm only doing one thing, I'm only picking one thing, I'm only spinning one time, I'm only rolling the dice one time. So it only happens a single time. That's what the 1 is. So given a single set of events, what is the probability that it will happen? So our steps to find this, we want to find the total number of possibilities first. Okay, so what's the total number? If I'm rolling a dice, what are the number of outcomes I can have? There would be 6 possibilities, right? Because there's 6 sides of the dice. And then we find the amount of what you're looking for. If it's only red, if you want to find even numbers, if you just want to find a 1. So if I want to roll a 1 on the dice, okay, if I want to find out what the probability of rolling a 1 on the dice is, I'm going to take that and write it as a fraction. So I only have 1 1 on the dice. So I'm going to put 1 on top. Okay. And then the total amount of sides on the dice is 6. So I'm going to put a 6 on the bottom. And that's going to be my answer, 1 out of 6. Okay, and make sure you reduce if you can. So you need to look and make sure you can reduce it, okay? Because a lot of the answers are going to have to be reduced. So if you don't see your answer in the multiple choice, then maybe we need to go and look and see if I can reduce my fraction, okay? Oops. So, hold on, let me pull up my... Okay. So we're going to do some problems now. What happened to my... Oh no. Okay, we'll just do it here. Okay, so we're going to do some examples. Given the spinner below, what is the probability that you will spin an even number? Okay, so remember the first step is to find my total. Okay, so if I find my total, that's going to be on the bottom. Okay, so the total amount of numbers here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 total possibilities that can happen. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, and then I find what I'm trying to find. So I'm trying to find the even numbers. Okay, so let's find even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, anything that ends in 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. Okay, no, 1. No, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 4 even numbers, so I'm going to put that on top. Okay, and then I'm going to reduce it if I can. Okay, and this is 4 over 8, so I can reduce both of these by 4. So I'm going to divide both by 4. Divide by 4, and then divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So my answer would be 1 over 2. Okay, and that's all you got to do there, guys. Okay, so let's erase this. And let's do another example. Okay, so my next example, okay, is that what it is? Okay, Madeline is setting up tables for a birthday party. 3 of the tables will have white tablecloths. So let's look at this. Let's circle my numbers. 3 are white, right? 5 of the tables will have blue tablecloths, and 2 of the tables will have silver tablecloths. So if this circling and underlining isn't bad, then I would write it out. 3 are white, 5 are blue, and 2 are silver. Sorry, that 5 is funky. Okay. So then I look at it and I'm going to say, and then let's keep reading. What is it asking me to look for? Each table will seat 6 guests. What is the probability that the first guest to arrive will be seated at a table that has a silver cloth? Okay, so it's talking about the first guest. So I don't need to know how many guests each table seats. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to know that because that's just extraneous information. So I don't need to know that. So the first guest to arrive will be seated at a table that has a silver tablecloth. Okay, so I need to find the total between all of the tables I have. 3, 5, and 2. So 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. So I'm going to put 10 on the bottom. And then we're looking for the silver tablecloth. So we're going to do 2 silver. So we would do 2 on top. Okay, and then those are both even numbers, which means I can divide them both by 2. So I'm going to divide them both by 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. And then I'm going to reduce it. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, and that would be my answer, 1 out of 5. So there's a probability of 1/5, 1 out of 5 times that first guest would be seated at a table with a silver tablecloth. Okay, and that's all we're doing there. We got one more. I'm going to do one more. It's going to be a table one. So you've seen one with a spinner, one with the table, and one with in a word problem. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so the table shows the number one type of music that students in a class like. So the number one, the one that they like the most. Okay, based on the data in the table, what is the probability that a random student will not like rap music? So that's the most important part there, is not like rap music. Okay, so there are 2 ways that you can do this. Okay, you can figure out the probability of what it is for a rap music and then subtract it, or you can add up all the rest of them and then do it that way. I'm going to add up all the rest of them. So first, okay? But first I need to find the total. So I have to add all of these together. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 12 is 22. And 22 plus 8 is 30. So I'm going to put a 30 on the bottom. Okay? And then, because I want not rap music, I'm going to add together all the ones that are not rap music. So I'm going to cross out rap music. And then add together everything else. 6 plus 4 is 10, and 10 plus 8 is 18. So I'm going to put 18 on top. Okay? So 18 out of 30. And I can reduce that. Okay? So if you just see, I can just do it by 2. So let's just do it by 2 first. Because I know those are both even. So we're going to divide both by 2. Okay? 18 divided by 2 is 9. And 30 divided by 2 is 15. Okay, and you may say, okay, I'm done. But if you look at these a little closer, these are both divisible by 3. Okay, divisible by 3. Okay, so 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. And now I can't reduce these because 3 and 5 can't be divided by the same numbers. Okay, so my answer would be 3 out of 5. Okay, the other way is to say, hey, I know rap music would be 12 out of 30. Okay, I'm going to do that, 12 out of 30, and then I'm going to figure out what that is. And that comes out to be 2, because I can divide both by 6, 2 out of 5. Okay, so if that's how much I do like rap music, then I need the opposite of this that would make it a whole number. So 3 plus 2 is 5, so the answer would be 3 out of 5. Okay, so there are 2 different ways we can do this one. Okay, so guys, that's all there is today. Okay, if you need help with the assignment, let me know and I'll help you out. I'll make you a video or whatever you need to. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.